Alright, let's get into it. No one in here now, so currently speaking to those that'll watch this on replay. Hopefully that doesn't become something that starts getting parsed like 8 hours from now. And then takes 8 hours to get done, and then this doesn't get out there onto YouTube for, more than half a day from now, which is probably pretty close to what happened on the sneak preview of today's event, that I 100% called. Could I like I? This isn't a toot my own horn thing. This isn't I told you so sort of thing. Um, but I was practically completely spot on. So, so I mean, it's kind of hard to sit here now, seeing what the event is, um, and fucking phone. Like, I've obviously changed the orientation. Flip back to thank you very much, stupid fucking piece of shit. I fucking hate technology. I really do. I just need to I just need to stop it all. Just stop it all. Just go to go to a goddamn flip phone. Shut off all access from internet, from literally everything, including this backup TV. I'm not even using the big screen smart TV. I haven't replaced that or anything else that has basically been broken at this point. I do have a new controller, quote unquote new, in the last, I don't know, month and a half. Um, Part of that thinking was that I do more than play games with my um, uh, piss 4 console. So and I didn't have like a remote or anything else to be able to do literally anything with it, when the only thing that I had for it was a controller, and that was broken. And um, like, would be remote controls or whatever, are pretty much the exact same price, maybe slightly less, and then you can't play any games with those if you wanted to. So it seemed pretty stupid, quite frankly. And I made um, a, a purchase that I had been intending to make for as long as it started being broken, and then just got out of hand where it was completely unusable. Um, and just made kind of a spur of the moment purchase that came with basically free, like, I don't know, maybe quote unquote next day, 2 day, whatever, 3 day shipping, for less than I would have paid if I went to one of the stores that had it at a higher price. It's brand new out of the box. It's not refurbished or anything like that. I'm perfectly fine with it. But honestly, especially after this event dropping, I mean, as I said, basically exactly as I said. However, there's one aspect to this that I'm completely incensed. Could not possibly be more infuriated. And the main thing with that is how much it bothers me that it bothers me. Like, I hope that others can again, you're gonna hear this on the fucking replay because there's nobody in the goddamn room right now. But like, I hope that others could could potentially, I don't know, just understand that idea and be able to relate to it in some way, even if like they've never played a video game in their life, even if they have never paid attention to any sporting event in their entire life. It's not relegated to those sort of things. I mean, it's essentially an anger management issue, amongst other things, um, and it really is like, yeah, I'm pissed, like extremely pissed at the thing that happened, that out of my control. It's external. That, I don't know, I guess part of me should have thought there was a very remote chance that it could have happened, and therefore should have prepared better for it or whatever the fuck. But when I show you what it is, I mean, it's not. I feel like there's no way that anyone could have seen that coming. Um, and yeah, and so it's just that, like, yeah, I'm super pissed about that one specific aspect of this event. And I hate almost all aspects of it, but it, the rest of it was within my expectations that I had, and in some cases, I actually um, were slightly better than I thought that it could have been. I was pointing out the difference between kind of what I thought as a minimum and for like a lower limit, and then what I thought as a potential upper limit. And in those cases, it kind of hit the lower limits, um, and in other weird cases, actually than what I had predicted on the lower limit. So those things I will point out, and I think are, I don't know, it makes it better than I had expected a little bit, I guess. But everything else I was spot on with, and it hit everything that I'd said. So the fact that I think it's like just an absolutely god awful event that would have been difficult either before the game came out in September when supposedly all this content was decided on, or like yesterday, because when I show the one thing, it seems like basically impossible that they could have known. It is actually literally impossible that they would have known some of the things that they decided to include in this event at the beginning of the year, just because people get hurt. You look at Taylor Hall last year. You look at basically Tavares this year. Um, and even now Crosby, if you would have assumed that Crosby would have a 91 overall November inform, he doesn't, and he's not going to. He's not coming back the next week or so before recuperating from that surgery. So things happen, and there's no way to know those things. So I really feel like some of these things had to have been, they could have been, up there as on the drawing board and like 90% of the way there, and just barring any sort of thing where a guy gets knocked out, in preseason for the entire season, then sure, okay, maybe don't include that one thing. Um, that didn't actually happen to anybody this year, so um, it's hard to say, but it definitely feels like a couple of aspects of this event clearly show that there's only two real possibilities, and I hate when things come across as being binary, of just black and white and can only be one or the other. But it basically seems like it's either they they made a decision at the beginning of uh, before the game started in September, and basically got lucky that that these players didn't get hurt and they got informs, or um, or they had a basically like a general idea of what they were going for, and then based on how things have played out, most of which, for almost all of these, were known, not necessarily just as late as yesterday, but um, within the last week, or even a little bit past that. So it's not that they make it seem, and other devs and game changers and content creators and people from almost every other developer, whether it's AAA or not just EA, make it seem like it's like basically literally impossible to make any sort of even remote subtle changes, and that's totally not the case. I mean, coding is difficult to do. It's not easy to build a thing, but you move on from there and just admit that it's not the most difficult thing in the world to look at something that you've had on the drawing board since before it came out, and then realize, okay, that's not going to work. You know, if we thought that Lucic was going to have a September, October, and November upgrade through informs so far, and that has obviously not happened. So if that was if that was part of the plan, you know, that clearly didn't happen, hasn't worked out. So what I'm gonna do here is a couple of things. I've got these packs. They should all be untradeable. Sorry, tradable. I don't know why I said that backwards. So I'm going to open those. I have not made my choice yet on what I want from my rivals rewards. I mean the packs are basically set. It's just a matter of if I want you know, two of each as untradeable, or if I want to go with one of each as tradable, or if I want to just say fuck the packs and go with the coins. Not like I really need coins at the moment. All of that happened today. I was down to, I don't know, 70,000 coins. So almost the entire 2.5 that's up there right now came from today. And not in a good way, generally speaking. And that's part of why I'm so pissed off right now. Um, Plus, I'm like, I just don't even give a fuck. Like, I'm planning on walking away, but I'm still gonna open packs. And, you know, I mean, even if, I mean, this, first off, this is not gonna happen. But if I, and I honestly, I don't even give a shit if they're tradable or not. But like, tradable or not, if I get all 6 MSPs through packs, where I don't have to use any gold collectibles, I don't have to do any trade-ins or any sets or anything like that. Um, I don't suddenly change my tune and think like that the cards are good and worth, you know, the comparison to almost every single one of them having a card that's -1 of that already, or will in a week when they get their December upgrade, etc. Um, you know, I'm not gonna like suddenly change my tune just because you know, even if I were to pull literally all 6, especially if I get only like one of the 6, be my best pull of the year, obviously, not just in terms of overall, but I mean, I've only pulled an MSP in any form of a pack uh, once, and that wasn't really a good situation for me either. It was heavy hitters, Jake Muzzin as an untradeable when I already had one, and it's not like there were any other MSPs from heavy hitters. What's up, Torval? There weren't. It wasn't like there were any other MSPs from heavy hitters that would have been better options for me to get in replace of Muzzin. Technically, there was, because I never bothered to do the McCarty. So yeah, I would have preferred to have gotten that one as opposed to a, for now, seemingly useless duplicate of the Muzzin. Um, but just keep that thought in mind when I go to show you the bullshit that I feel like is part of this stupid fucking event. Um, do you do new sets? Hopefully not, man. Like, hopefully not. I will show you the one that I probably would have done, and that's the thing that I'm most infuriated about. But I don't know how much of the preview you were here for, quote unquote, last night, early this morning, depending upon where your time zones are. But I absolutely called it, and as far as predicting exactly what this event was going to be, with maybe some slight variations, but how they chose to put it out there and what some of these sets are a little bit different. And there's one in particular, based off of my own stupidity, I guess, that I'm extremely pissed off about. So as I said, I'm gonna open up these packs. It's just 5 of them really on the completely tradable ones, and then mostly based off of that, I'll decide what I want to do with the rivals. If I want uh, one of each in tradable like these are, or if I want 2 of each as untradeable, or if I just want the coins. Um, but because I don't give a fuck anymore anyways, this channel was never really real anyways. I guess I'll bring the phone with me in case anybody decides to say anything in chat so I can see it. And because, God damn, it is really fucking smoky. I'll open up the door. Actually, Jesus, I thought it was just because my eyesight's not very great and my glasses sometimes get, weird, but I'm gonna open this up too, which I usually do. I don't know why I didn't this time. Just preheating the oven to put a DiGiorno in. Torval, you left. What the fuck, man? That's not cool. I mean, unless you're still here and it just says that there's only one person when there's more than one person, which it does fairly often. I don't know, because all of technology is fucking terrible, apparently. That's not cool, man. Like, you jump in here like that, you ask a question. I mean, I guess I snapped a little bit of saying that I didn't want to do any sets, but I mean, you know me, I'm probably gonna do at least some, right? So I don't know. I don't. I honestly don't really appreciate doing that. If you came in looking for one thing and you feel like you didn't get it based on my response or whatever, then fine. But I'd honestly rather just not have anybody even come in here at all while I'm doing this, than to do that. And I generally don't have a problem with you specifically, even with you coming in every single time and asking for a team update, which I almost always do, but did not do yesterday. Oof. But part of my not giving a shit is I want to eat dinner, so I'm gonna put this in, and this is actually only gonna take kind of at most 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna do that stuff and not really give a shit what it does or does not look like on the replay, because it's dinner. Like, I should occasionally eat. I won't be trying to eat too much with it in my mouth while on stream, but I also don't expect to have a lot of content here. The main content is I want to show what aspect of this I'm super pissed off about, and doing that is kind of showing just generally the event and how stupid it is, how poorly designed it was, how it's just an absolute, just a clusterfuck. I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't. I think it's so bad. And I'm sick of being so negative in general, and with this shit. I know I shat all over the Young Stars event when it first came out, and then I ended up doing all 5 of the MSPs. But that's not like validation that the event was actually any good. I still stand by my original view of the Young Stars event, which was that the 5 MSPs were all solid, and all the cards that came out initially, the week 1, the original cards, generally were almost exclusively terrible. I think maybe the 90 overall Bowen Byram was part of week 1, and maybe the 89 Olofsson or something like that. So there were a couple that weren't bad, but if you had a max team as I did at that time, I don't anymore, which is why I have coins now. Then like those cards are unusable. There's no point in having them. If you pull them as untradeable and you had something that's slightly better as tradable, then sure, okay, make that choice and kind of downgrade your team a little bit and get coins in return. I don't think that's the worst idea in the world to do, but yeah, it's just generally that event was good MSPs that cost way more than they should have in terms of gold collectibles. It's the adding 2 gold collectibles onto a set that was 10 before is literally a 1/5 or 20% increase in the cost for simply just a +1 compared to the standard 90s that had been part of the game the entire time. I understand when that happened outside of the 91 prime time, and then later the upgrades that the James Neal fantasy cards got. which is up to 92 as of yesterday, I believe. Um, that they were effectively the highest rated cards in the game outside of Gretzky and Lemieux, which were the best ones on day one. And I would argue are still better than any of the 91s that came out yet in the Young Stars, or any of the 92s that came out today. Um, the 91 EP 40 is pretty close though. Um, and it's not as if these 692s are junk. It's just that they're, I'll get to it, but they're basically just what those cards were going to be as 92s anyways. And so, you know, you could have just waited about a week for, or a little bit longer for December upgrade to have a -1 from those 92s, and then you could wait until the new year for the January Inform upgrade to get +1 from those 92s. The only difference is you wouldn't have 99 offensive awareness on those 6 cards, and you wouldn't have had, energies. But as I called it, being a stupid dynamic duos idea was that they were going to pair these two players together, and they were both going to have. So I should go into the screen to show this, and you should go into the to my last broadcast where I pointed this out. It, like, ad nauseum. I went over it so much. It hurt me to do it. It took so long to do it, but I was like, I don't know, but I don't see it going down any other way, which is that they're gonna have. I sold all my cards, Torval. So, um, I sold I sold basically 8 million coins worth of cards that I got 2.5 for, even after the 5% tax. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I'm actually super pissed about it. I didn't get good value for any of those cards. People absolutely um, just ripped me a new asshole on how much they were willing to put down for what those things should have been worth, and uh, almost every single one of them that I sold were ones that I had bought on the market previously. So I took a humongous loss on almost every single card that I sold for that 2.5 million. So I don't look at that and think of it as being happy. Plus, my team was 94 before. The team that's there right now is not even my actual true team. The team that's there right now is my hitters squad because I had to get some hits in or whatever, I think, if I recall correctly. Not that it really matters, but it's basically 93 or 94 at the moment. It's negligible, the difference between the two. Um, but it is what it is. So I don't know if I've only got like another 12 minutes before the pizza's ready. So um, I'll open the packs I said I was going to, and then I'll talk more about the event and why it's fucking trash. Start with Mega, probably the best. Start with the best and the brightest right from the beginning. Oh, this isn't turned up enough. Jesus fucking Christ. If this is any indication, I might not open any more packs. I'm not even joking you. Like, if 81 is the best I can do in mega packs, which for some reason I thought were, yeah, I'm wrong. For some reason I was thinking they were guaranteed 82s pluses, which that one technically is. That you get at least 2 of them or whatever. And I guess, no, I thought I was going to get one on that one, but I didn't. Yeah, this is just god awful. Every single thing in here is nothing but a trade-in. None of this helps me at all. These are 30 total cards. Yeah, like, I don't think I'm gonna keep that. So that'll be just a quick sell. This is stupid. Uh, I mean, I didn't do anything for this. I didn't buy this. This was a grind. This is from gameplay, but literally I got 182 and two 81s and a couple of exactly 80s. Oh, sorry, 381s. Just a god awful pack. Quick sell 12,000. And if you were to actually buy that, I believe it's like it's like 30. It's at least 30K. But whatever. We're going down with the ship. Let's just kill this off so I have no interest in playing the game ever again. Let's open up these ones as well. I still refuse to do the reveal all though. Like they don't improve. They don't improve. Like day 1, sure, that would have been a good pack. Day 4, day 5, like back on September 15th, it would have been an okay pack. Not a great one, an okay pack. Jesus Christ, this is so fucking terrible. How do these guys even justify this? I don't understand. I don't get it. I really don't get it. 6,500 on the quick sell. So now my sweet premium pack, or 7,500. You're gonna give me a 91 on this one. You're gonna give me 6 contracts like you did yesterday. Oh my god. What the flying fuck? A 74, a 77, and a 79. I mean, they're all trade-ins, so literally the 74 is exactly the same, unless I got in a pinch and I had to do quick sells on them or whatever. At least 180 plus guaranteed in this one, the final Youngstars pack of the year. I mean, it's hard to say that I should be saving these for something more. There's 692 MSPs that you can pull in packs. There's some decent prime times. The team of the weeks are good. There's other cards in the event that aren't the worst. Oh my god, what a fucking joke. You know, and I don't know. I mean, there's like there's chances of other things being okay. Why did it do that? Don't do that. And everything's glitchy today. On top of their delay in bringing the event out in the first place. Just super fucking salty if you can't tell. If they would have, you know, if they would have had their shit together and the sets would have been out when they were supposed to be fucking out and not a half an hour later, you know, things would have been a little different. I guess maybe I should have, the things I was looking to sell, maybe I should have looked to have had them ending, you know, half an hour or an hour after the reset. Not a single even 80, exactly 80, let alone 80 plus, 81 plus in any of those. What the fuck? The rest of these are just collectibles, and they're for events that are already over, so there's no point in opening those. I'm not going to, so I'm always going to have those there. Oh my god, like this is just... Okay, so we'll go into the sets to show why this is so fucking stupid. Some of this is the same as it always is. You know, 50 gold players, you get an untradeable gold collectible. I actually did a couple of these in the final hour of the Youngstars event because I was actually somewhat concerned that they either wouldn't do this, which I thought was unlikely, or that even if they did do it, they would change it where it would be like 55 or 60 or whatever of them that you'd have to do to get the same gold collectible. So on that off chance, I just went and I killed 100 gold players for two untradeable gold collectibles, just to ensure that I'd have those in case something got screwy. Not that two, you know, makes or breaks a difference. You still got the 33% that only idiots do. And again, still, I don't care, that there are 92 MSPs that are out there now. Thrash was on his stream saying today that you cannot get the MSPs in the choice set. Um, I feel like it would be nice if they indicated that in any way, shape, or form. They never have. There's no confirmation of that. I just have never really seen it happen, so I just kind of assumed that it probably wasn't going to happen. So this is where you have to spend the equivalent of basically 200,000 coins, um, however you get them on 4 gold collectibles to have a choice of one of 3. He did one on his stream, and the he had like an 83, an 84, and an 85 to choose from. They were tradable, but they're garbage. They're fucking worthless. So I mean, there's not a chance in hell that he could get anywhere close to 200,000 in the market for any of the ones that he chose from. I think the one he chose actually was an 86. Now that I think about it, but even so, it was still a terrible card. I think he chose Corey Perry, to be honest. Um, just completely stupid. So this one here is is generally the carryover from the last event where it took 12 gold collectibles to be able to do an MSP. Slight difference, as I predicted. There's 6 of them here, as opposed to how they've been 5 in every event since the first event, which was the classic NHL event. I didn't have to go out on too much of a limb with that one, considering the event was called Dynamic Duo, and we saw that it was a 92 Carlson and a 92 Burns. So it was like, are they only going to drop those 2? Are they going to have a weird third one as part of that? Are they going to have, one other set of 2 for 4, or 2 other sets of 2 for 6, which is what this is? There was a chance they could have had 5. None of that really would have worked, though, because the biggest part of my assumption was going to be that they were intended to be paired, and that they would have specific synergies that would only activate when having those 2 players on your team at the same time, and that's exactly what it is. I was somewhat concerned that this specific trade-in would also get bumped up, just simply because moving from 90 to 91, they went from 10 to 12 gold collectibles. So knowing that they were moving from 91 to 92 on the MSPs, I was, I think reasonably concerned that they were going to increase the number of gold collectibles to do that, and it could have been more than 12. 13 would have been pretty stupid to go with such an unlucky number, but they could have made it 14 or even 15. I thought there was a chance that that could happen. Now, interestingly, having said that yesterday and repeating it today, they have this, which is the exact same thing, kind of, for 2 extra collectibles to be able to get a tradable one, but it is random. Now, it is saying that it's repeatable. That's what the little circle thing is. I haven't seen anybody do any of these yet. I think it's pretty fucking crazy to do. What is that? So it's 500 plus 200. So it's 700,000 coin value worth of collectibles to do this. I have to go look to see how much they're selling for on the marketplace, but the fact that this specific set exists and the last 2 hours doing nothing but this, and then putting those cards out there on the marketplace, there might be some sort of a limit on it. There might be a cooldown also. Of course, it doesn't indicate really any of that there, and it doesn't indicate any of it here either, except for the fact that it's good for just shy of 2 weeks now. Now that we're 2 hours in, and that it says it's repeatable. That's kind of all you know, and it is random. So, if any of the 6 MSPs are going for less than any of the others, you could kind of get screwed doing this. There's no sort of guarantee. If literally any of them are going for less than 700, especially if they're much closer to, say, like 500, you'd be completely losing by buying all the gold collectibles and doing these, which also, let's go ahead and check this real quick. There's a chance if people are doing this specific event, so this specific set a bunch, that it's totally screwing with the gold collectible price, and it is. Jesus. All right, I'm immediately selling mine. I only have 2 left, which sucks. Wow, that is insane. What's the so 64 for sure? God damn it! I wish I had these coins earlier. I would have bought them. Because it wasn't just this one. There were other ones that, I mean, there was one yesterday that I saw that was 48K. So next 25 minutes, the 75 is going to go, and that one's same. So it seems to be kind of the price people are going for. Alright, going to inbox. I don't really need 150,000 coins, to be honest. And I gotta go get my, Alright, so I'm gonna go get my my pizza. I don't know if it's actually done. That's just the first timer on that. That's so absurd. I shouldn't be pissed that I made so much money from when I bought those before. But I don't know. Why did I not see that coming? Alright, yeah, that's got a few more minutes left to go. Yeah, so it seems like that's what people are doing here. Now that makes me a bit more concerned also, that these are going to be extremely overpriced as well. Let's start with just the standard max. No, okay, so there's your ticket. Let's do the sets. Especially with no cooldown. I mean, this seems like the way smarter way to go about this. There's 390 of them that you can get for less than 100,000 or less than 1,000 right now. So yeah, do that instead, like 100%. And then do this thing, assuming that you can get anywhere close to 700k for these 6 stupid ass cards. Okay, so let's go check that. There's not really an easy way to do that. I have to assume that all 6 are going to be out there in the marketplace because of that set. So there you go. So I'd imagine that Backstrom is probably the worst of the 6, right? And he's going for, you know, right around 700. Yep, there you go. So I mean, predictable is predictable. I don't know what this person's doing. That's kind of silly, but okay. Like, seems like a poor choice, but there you go. Maybe they just pulled it like a regular pack, and they want to make sure they get paid. Jesus, like and people think, it's so funny. People think you can get more for the McDavid, but it's not really funny to me because it's actually pissing me off even further. Even though for me it would have been getting the untradeable one. So one of the OVs is going for a little bit less with the person who has EA Developer 4 as their name, trying to confuse people into thinking that he's related to EA at all, and he's not. So yeah. Um, so with the sets, nobody in the room. Awesome. Talking to myself. Love it. So much fun. Thanks, guys. Love the support. Fucking joke. Um, so yeah, this set seems like the thing to do. I should probably, instead of eating dinner, I should probably just do nothing but this. So just buy up all the gold cards. I've got 5 of these already, I think. So get 9 more, and then just immediately put them on the marketplace. It's still kind of a loss if those cards are going for basically the equivalent of 1,000, especially because if I sold them for exactly 700,000, I'd lose 5%. I'd lose 35,000 of that in taxes every single time. So Backstrom and Ovi is pretty straightforward. If you want both, it's 20 coins, and it's the exact same thing for Carlson and Burns. And even though at the moment I don't really think that I would want any of the pairs, and if I did, maybe I would go with McDavid and Draisaitl, but probably not. Basically, all these cards are really right there or close to it already, anyways. Um, but those two, because you can get both of them for 20, it's kind of like being able to get each of them for 10, which is less than the 12. These are untradeable, so you got to compare it to this 12er as opposed to obviously the random tradable one for 14. So that's the only kind of caveat that I had that I think is like slightly better than I anticipated it being. I did not think that you'd be getting 92s for essentially, 10 collectibles as opposed to 12. I think the only reason why you do this set instead is if you want, Ovi and not Backstrom, or vice versa, I guess, or Carlson and not Burns, which I think would be a very smart thing to do because the Burns card is terrible. And then kind of the same thing it looks like with McDavid and Draisaitl, but that's where I take my issue, and I got to go check on my food. And then you're going to get the collectibles from playing the events. You can get a gold collectible untradeable for that, really kind of as the event ends, unfortunately for you, but that is what it is. And if you don't want to do that, I guess you can have an 85 Gretzky or an 85 Curry, both of which are completely pointless for just having 5 of those collectibles as opposed to going through the full 10 out of potentially 11 or 12 that they'll do. I'm going to click on McDavid and Draisaitl while I check on my food. Yeah, and I'm getting hungry, man, so I think I'm just going to eat. But, so here you go with the same. The first one is the same as the other 2 sets of 2 that you can get 20 collectibles for both the McDavid and Draisaitl combined. No issue with that. It's really just these other 3 that I'm super pissed about. Not so much the Draisaitl, I guess, because I didn't have that card. I didn't want the card, so that has no real impact for me. Plus, for me, it doesn't seem like the worst card in the world as an 89 overall, and you have to add 9 gold collectibles on top of it to convert it into this MSP. So if you did it's fucked in my opinion. Both of these are terrible, but one of them pisses me off more, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds. But the Draisaitl, specifically this one where you put in the prime time and then you add 9. First off, it cost you a lot to get that Draisaitl unless you packed it in a tradable. It doesn't have to be great. Good for you. Now you got a slightly, especially if it's untradeable and you can't sell it, then I guess you got a slight discount on this, but not much of one, because it's putting in 9 gold collectibles to get the 92 Draisaitl as opposed to doing the 12 pack and choosing the Draisaitl. So you're technically, in this one, you'd be saving 3 gold collectibles, and there's not a chance in hell that you, at any point from when it was released until now, that you would have ever been able to get that 89 primetime Draisaitl for under 150,000 coins, which is technically what 3 gold collectibles used to cost. So yeah, it's bullshit. Plus, also, if you just do the 20 and you get both of them, then it technically only you only need 10 gold collectibles to create the Draisaitl from scratch, as opposed to taking a high-priced primetime. Just go and show how much this costs. And it's not in my fucking collection, obviously. If you'd let me click the correct buttons, thank you very much. You go and look at what it's going for in the market, you'll see before me, because I gotta go check on this here. Well, there's a few of them out there now, huh? So, well, somebody's possibly going to get it for 150, which is technically what the price should be, or about 200. So I guess I stand slightly corrected on this one, that it's about that. I also think it's probably pretty stupid to do that one. And then this one, if you had both of them, you can put them both together. This seems like a much better pack, actually, now that I look at it. I didn't realize this before. Because I didn't realize how many gold collectibles they wanted you to put in with the Draisaitl to create this. Yeah, this is actually not the worst pack compared to how bad the other two sets, I'm sorry, as compared to how bad the other two sets are. So if Leon by himself required 9 gold collectibles, here with McDavid in there, he only requires 8 to create both of them. Like, this is absurd, but therefore just pisses me off even further because of this here. And oh my god, it's occasionally nice if you let me click, the correct button. So that's what that's going for. I gotta go take my pizza out of the well, they both sold. No, they did not. So yeah, 289, 500. Looks like they're settling on 500. This seems to be about the standard price. I'm gonna leave this here for 2 seconds. There's nobody in the room. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, so this is why I am extremely fucking pissed. I paid around this much for this specific card, whenever it came out. I don't know when were all these issues. Some people just pulled them today, I guess. But wait, what? How are they? It didn't get re-released. Well, the 17th is not today, anyways. But yeah, I guess that was probably a re-release. Either way, I bought one, I don't know, it felt like about a week ago, and I certainly paid more than that 300K that one's going for right now. close to 500. That one plus 3 gold collectibles, which again used to be 150k, would get you the 92. I'll go show how I don't think that the difference between the two on the plus 1 is really worth 150k. If I have time, I don't know. It depends on how long it takes my pizza to congeal and all that bullshit. But why I specifically am so furious at this, being something that has not been a part of the game before. I'm okay with change. I'm okay with new things. It'd just be nice if it wasn't the only card in the entire fucking game. There's tens of thousands of cards at this point. They picked the only one that had an impact on me whatsoever, and timing. Why is it so far over? Timing not so great for me. I guess it could have been worse. Somebody could have bought it for less. But this was part of me, opting to get rid of cards, and it went for 315,150. So I mean, I took, without even factoring in the tax, which is, I don't know, 17.5 plus or whatever, on the sale. I may have bought it for less than 500, maybe around 450 or whatever. I like to try to point out sometimes that there can sometimes be utility in something if you buy it and use it, and then and then sell it. So it's not completely just a loss. Like if I paid exactly 500 for this, and then sold it for, say 300, net, after tax. Let that chill for a little while longer. Then the suggested utility would have been, the loss would have been exactly 200,000 coins. And no, I did not get anywhere close to 200,000 coins worth of utility out of it when I had it, especially because he's not even in the top 2 as far as left-handed forwards are concerned. So he was playing on my 3rd line and my 4th line, in the times when I was playing him. I didn't even play him in every game when I had the card. So yeah, so that happened. It went for 315. As you saw, everyone else that's buying this card right now is buying it for more. And literally all these is why I have 2.5 million. I guess Tavares went for 3,100. Sweet. Bergie went for 1K. I guess it kind of sucks that I lost 50 coins in taxes on that, but a slight loss on Mihalovic. If I had played Hovinen more often, then I could have justified this as utility. I may have paid that price, but I felt like it was probably closer to 200 when I bought him. Taylor Hall was a huge loss, just absolutely massive loss. It was at least double that what I paid. Tavares worked out a little bit better, but also basically almost half his value lost there. I don't think that I bought Fats or where the hell is he? Or the other one. But all these prices obviously came down. Niedermeyer I bought, and I mean I might have bought it for close to like 650. I definitely feel like I got a lot of utility out of it, so that one's one of the few that I'm not super annoyed with what I got out of it. And the other leaders card that I sold is in a similar fashion, and those two combined are the majority of where my coins came from. The real problem is that you can't do those sets anymore, and very few people are selling those cards. So, and instantly my left side defense dropped down, dramatically. I put in Paul Coffey earlier on my 3rd line in replace of the guys that I had pulled off, specifically with Niedermeyer. So, yeah, it's that's a loss. And Koivu as a as a, you know, as a 99 face off and not terrible on the rest of it. TK +2, you know, and not Breeze Ball. Can you please go to? Well, it's here somewhere. I'll get to it. But there's a Mike Pekka in here as well, who's 98. These are just absurd prices. Olczyk, pretty decent loss for me there. Also, I picked him and Mahalic up when I saw that they're going pretty cheap on the marketplace. I don't really know why. Bad choice. Burke, I played a ton of games with, and you know, got utility out of him. Plus, I also don't know if I actually bought it on the marketplace, but I bought those guys cheap in September. So Hiller was the other one. 21, whatever. 95 currently for Stamkos is not the worst, although that's a pretty big loss for me, getting rid of another 99 face-off guy who's got some other pretty decent stats and gives you a 2 to 1 T. But again, I was looking to just basically get rid of everything. Jamie Benn with 99 on offensive awareness, which now everyone has in these this new event. But 2 to Wrecking Crew from a left-handed shot winger. Kind of feels like 25 is a pretty decent steal there. Lundqvist was the other one that I was talking about. I can almost guarantee I paid well over 300 when I bought it. I think that that's pretty much a steal there. And these were the two from yesterday. I sold them low intentionally, so you know, I don't think that I got, you know, completely screwed on those. Where the hell is the other one? Where's Mike Pekka at? Oh, there he is. Yeah, 4K. It's silly. But whatever. I was getting rid of them. So this one's really the kind of the biggest. My dumb ass kind of thought, all right, well, I'll make all of these, you know, being expiring like as the event is, as the reset is happening, as the event is switching over. I think it was specifically set up so that it would have gone into like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the event. And that clearly did not work out in my favor in this one particular card at 315,000, considering everyone else is selling it for 500K right now. I was like, what auctions do I have? If it's just the 2 gold cards, so people are not actually paying that price apparently. Good to know. But yeah, let's hammer this home, and then I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna do after that. But this is just so annoying to see that. You know, I had, if we could get over to it, I had that card. As you see what I sold it for. You know, if I had that, again, I had untradeable ones, and the tradable ones that I have, I also paid less than 50K for all of them. I had about 7 or so, and sold most of them for, you know, at least like 54 or more. You know, somewhat recently, like during the last event. So even though it might right now cost me more than 150K if I wanted to actually go out and buy tradable gold collectibles to do this, and I don't know, you know, kind of why I would do that. It seems like a better choice to just go with the untradeable ones that you already have, or to create them with the gold players. It's a broadcast that goes back onto a replay later, so I'm talking to myself and now you, because you commented. I don't know what to tell you. That's how these things work. I don't know if you're new to YouTube or whatever. This will be a replay that people can watch whenever they want for forever until I decide to delete it or kill the channel. Okay, well, you got your answer now. So I don't know how much of that you heard, because I was literally just talking to the recording. But I had this McDavid. I went out and got it. You know, I kind of talked to myself. I didn't have a ton of coins, so I had to kind of choose which one I wanted the most. And I went with this one as opposed to trying to get, first off, the other left-handed forward who is considered top 4. The 90 MSP Rantanen, there weren't any on the marketplace, and when there was one, it was for like close to 800K. I was not going to pay that for that, and for a person who is at best going to be my 4th best left-handed forward. So yeah, I didn't want to do that. And then the other choices were the was it 90 primetime, was it primetime or team of the week? I don't even know if it's primetime or team of the week, but there was an OV if you needed a right-handed forward. I think it was probably going for a little bit less than this one was. And then what else? It was oh, and then the 89 from October, Crosby, that was probably going for even less, which would have been, at best like a fourth line center that I just really felt like I didn't need. So I feel like I made the right choice, at least as far as the forwards go. I don't even remember what the possible defender choices were at the time. So I was pretty much fine with making that choice, and very much probably should have not sold it. It seems like really bad value to get that for 300K. And my real big gripe with this is not just that they have this and Rigby's gone, so back to talking to myself, which is fucking lovely. I love this whole thing that's going on here. This wasn't here, so when the sets came out, that wasn't there. Okay, first off, the sets took like what felt like an hour for them to even fucking show up on the reset. I don't know what that difficulty is in getting those off. They also, the specific cards that were there were not showing up in the events tab. It's not on my end. I was watching people doing it live as well, and they weren't there for them either. The store only had the 92,500 coin pack that you can only do once per week for the 2 weeks of the event, so that you can get a gold collectible that's untradeable and an 83 or 84 overall card that's part of the event. That makes it even worse for this event because it's coming with a synergy that you have to have his exact pair to go with it to activate that specific synergy. That also, in my opinion, doesn't even really do all that much. Like, let's just go show these here real quick. In the synergy glossary, they're all player based, obviously, but some were existing ones. Like Blue Line was already there. Like the lesser cards have some of that, like even including like X Factor, but Dangler Zone repeat from 19 into 20 here, as opposed to like do your deeks and other things that were already impacting that. Just seems like garbage to me. +2 to deking, hand eye, and puck control. I don't mind boosts to hand eye and puck control, but there's only 2 cards that, as far as the MSPs go, it's the Draisaitl and McDavid that have this, and the 92s of those 2 cards don't really need much help on any of the hand eye or hand deafness attributes. So it's seems like a completely fucking pointless synergy to do, and you need both of them to activate it. The kind of new one here is the Clutch Player. Again, only a +2, and that just seems really petty and shitty to do, considering that there's only 2 cards that you can have that can activate that. I think, I don't know, there might be some of the lower end cards that whose pairs might also have these synergies. I'm not really sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that I know the 3 MSPs are, one is Hammer Time, one is Clutch Player, and one is Dangler Zone. Dangler Zone is Draisaitl and McDavid, which I think Hammer Time is the Carlson and the Burns, which would leave Clutch Player as the what the hell's the other one? The OV and Backstrom, which would seem to make a bit of sense. And so this is going to give you a +2 for those 2 guys only to their endurance, puck control, and wrist shot accuracy on 92 overall cards. The Burns and Carlson, terrible cards to have. Carlson better than Burns, pointed this all out yesterday. They're going to give you a +2 to body checking, slap shot power, and strength. So that's fun. Yeah, and any other ones that might be using, ones that like kind of already exist, uh, and they all come with generally three different synergies. So like, uh, I I think in fact actually the McDavid and the Draisaitl both come with Magician, but either way, I'm not sure why it would matter in either one. It is a +4, but it's only to face-offs and stick checking. It's one of the most stupid synergies that exist in the entire game, especially because most of the people that have this, even on the higher end cards, are defenders or wingers who have extremely low face-offs, and it's a player-based synergy that only impacts those people who have the synergy, and you have 4 points to it to activate it. It's nice to get +4 to face-offs, but when your face-off stat is 67, I don't think it fucking matters that you move it up to 71. Big deal. So yeah, that one's stupid. Some of these I saw have rock solid on them as well. None of this has changed in terms of like how many you need to activate any of these. So clearly stuff like Blue Line is a little bit easier to get activated, but only gives you a +2 for all of those. I mean, it's a lot. It's 5 different categories, but it is what it is. There's a lot more cards out there, even from base cards that are usable that have X Factor. It's technically also again only a quote unquote only a +2, but it's speed, agility, slap shot, and wrist shot power. Pretty decent one. I've moved away from it, but now having potentially some good cards and some MSPs that can have at least +1 on them, suddenly you can get closer to having 6 to round that out. But a lot of them are going to have stuff more like net front presence or breakout master, maybe even arm day and rock solid, and then there'll be a couple that would have workhorse or wingman that you might think is useful. I'm a big fan of thread the needle. I think it kind of sucks that you need 6 to get it, but it's huge. It's +3 bonus to both the accuracies and passing. Do your deeks is and always has been stupid, and so then it's just the other ones are what they are. Even when they come with team-based synergies, they're generally not going to be the types that are going to be adding a lot for you there. I think it's sustained pressure. It might be one time. I think it's sustained pressure on the McDavid, and I hope to God that it's 2 points to that as opposed to 1. Hold on one second. Let me go check on the pizza. Okay, I'm gonna cut this puppy up here real quick. Oops. Oh, I think I let it sit too long. That was stupid of me. Let's break the new controller, dumbass. There's no reason at all why that fucking thing fell. It's so stupid. how in the fuck did we get back to here? We're into the tutorial for objectives. We're on some sort of screen that only required pressing R2 to get into objectives or something. Oh my god, block 30. Get out of here with your nonsense. Taking 65 SOGs is bad enough, but I don't feel like blocking that many shots. God, I'm just so sick of this shit. I really am. I'm getting too old for this shit. Is what I should be saying. Yeah, awesome. Still talking to myself. Well, I'm gonna go eat my food soon. Yeah, those are the synergies. And then if I could just here real quick, try to point out why these cards are fucking stupid. At least as far as the MSPs are concerned. Here's your again, the McDavid's going for quite a bit of coins. Here's the difference between the 92 and the 91. See if you can catch it. It's it's not exactly easy to catch. If the game would actually like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, there's the difference. You want me to keep doing this? How hard is it to see? The things that are not already 99, which is everything but acceleration, agility, and speed, get a +1 across the board. So balance, endurance, both accuracies, both power, deking, hand-eye, passing, puck control, body checking, strength, aggression, durability, fighting skill, discipline, poise, face-off, stick checking, shot blocking, defensive awareness. Every one of those +1. You get a boost to offensive awareness. So instead of going from 95 to 96, it goes all the way to 99. That's it. It's literally the only fucking difference. It is 2 to SP, which is what I was thinking it was, which is helpful. But there you go with your 2 to Dangler Zone and 1 to Magician. So he actually suddenly becomes a center who would become slightly more useful as a center if Magician gets activated. He's only giving you 1 point towards that, though, and you need 3 more. And again, you're usually going to need that to be coming from people like defenders and other wingers who have no business taking face-offs. But if I remember correctly, it's +4 to face-off. And what was the other one? Was it face-offs and stick checking? I don't know. But I feel like this card is barely better, if at all, from the 91, particularly because for forwards, the first 2 things that you should probably be looking at are speed and shot, and it's what everyone looks at, though. So now you have to start looking at some other things, maybe more. But his skate stats are already maxed out, anyways. Admittedly, the +1 to endurance does actually help. The +1 to poise does actually help. Even durability would help a little bit. And I wouldn't pass up on stuff like hand-eye getting a +1, and because in my opinion, even on this card, the shot stats were not good enough. It does make a difference. Like, if someone were to give you both cards for whatever the same thing was, if they had the same cost, then it would have been more or less reasonable to do. And that's one of the other main reasons why I'm so fucking pissed that this happened, is because I would already have this card, and I'd have him on my team, and I'd be playing as soon as I was done with dinner, I guess, to be able to try him out and maybe make some adjustments to my team, and even consider adding the Draisaitl that I would have no other interest in having on, just to kind of see how that would work out or whatever. Because I've got the collectibles. I could have done it. I had the prime time. I wouldn't have needed to spend 500,000 coins to be able to get it. Instead, I spent close to 500,000 coins to buy it about a week or so ago, and then sold it for 315,000, and it just happened to close, I think, actually just after the reset had happened, but before this set was even listed in the group of sets. So I didn't know, nobody knew that you could get it for that, and I think it has a significant impact on that. And if I was already going to do that anyways, yeah, I probably would go ahead and, well, first off, let's just look at how shitty the Draisaitl is. So another 2 to SP. So your SP is basically done. You got 40% of the requirement from SP out of 2 different cards, and I know I've got others that already have that anyways. You pretty much don't even really need the coach. If you did, that's 3 more. So with these 2 players alone, and trying to think of who's SP is probably Fiddler. So with Fiddler, Draisaitl and McDavid, 3 cards, 2 players, 1 coach, and you can still fill in another 16 position players, 6 of those as defenders, 10 as forwards, plus 2 goalies, who are usually going to have these team-based synergies also. You could have 7 out of the 10 that you're looking for SP out of just those 3 cards. But yeah, Draisaitl, no bueno. 93 acceleration, 94 agility. I didn't expect him to get one, so I didn't look too heavily at this, but it's not great. His shots are actually good. His handles are good. He's 6'2", 215, so it's not the worst to have handles as good as that for that kind of size. He gets the boost to offensive awareness at 99. If you compare it to how far over do we have to go to the 89, that was a 90. It should be plus 3. So it would have gone to 93. Oh, yep. So again, he gets a plus 6 boost to his offensive awareness. That's it. That's really it. He's got 91 faceoffs, which is better than McDavid. And so now you're getting 2 points towards Magician. If you get 2 more somehow, then his faceoffs would go to 95, and I would actually be looking to play him as a center, particularly with his offensive awareness being that high and his hand-eye being in the low 90s as well. Not really looking for him to get on the body, but he's not terrible at being able to do that all that much either. His poise is to be desired. His defense isn't terrible at 90, kind of like the McDavid, but he's actually better on shot blocking and slightly better, plus 1 on stick checking. So it's not the worst. I guess I would have had to have gone out and bought this card to be able to have done that specific set. And let's check to see how much this has gone up now, or if it's leveled out. Jeez, a lot of people selling it. So yeah, I mean, you can get it for 180 right now. So not exactly the worst. And now let's just check to make sure that McDavid is still an unreasonably high amount. Otherwise, like, I would honestly do this set. I mean, it sucks that it's 5. Like, that's such a huge loss that I'd be taking if I did that. Yeah, I mean, it's like the loss I'd be taking is effectively, unless the prices have actually changed, it's 4 gold collectibles difference between what I got from it versus what I could get, and what else would I need to put in? I think 8 more. So yeah, so 8 collectibles. That does actually feel somewhat tempting, and what's weird is it feels a little bit more tempting because the Draisaitl is a plus 3 as opposed to the stupid McDavid, which is only a plus 1. But the Draisaitl is kind of the main reason why it's so many collectibles. The McDavid on his own requires 3. The Draisaitl on his own requires 9. Combined, they only require 8. And then you get both. So this is kind of I still feel like this is the best set and the best duo to go with. But I need to take a break and like maybe come back to this tomorrow or something and decide if I feel like even playing this game anymore. Because again, I had the card. It didn't require me effectively selling it low today and then buying it high either later today or tomorrow. for a minimum of a 200,000 coin loss on doing that, and then still having to turn in 8 collectibles in some way, shape, or form, tradable or not, to get 2 untradables. Um, One of which, the McDavid, is likely to get passed up as far as his overall in as early as a week from now, and the Draisaitl, again in about a week, could also get his December inform. That would be -1 from that, and then come January he would be also +1 from that. So they get rated out really, really quickly, which is why I hate all 6 of these cards. Um, I went over in great detail Carlson and Burns yesterday. Ovi already has 90s in the game, so that's like a +2. I don't think Backstrom is as high, but his card is also probably pretty much terrible. So yeah, I think the whole event is just trash from start to finish. Um, and then I do need to I need to go eat that before I start um, basically eating my own face and getting even more pissed off at this fucking thing here. Um, but I'll just try to take a quick perusal. I said on Twitter that I felt like there were a couple of good non-MSPs that were worth looking out for. Line A would have been one of them. 2 to 1T and 2 to X. That's nice. Are they all doing that? That is sweet. I like that. But he combines with Kyle Connor. Um, and this card is terrible. So that kind of sucks. Uh, but those 2 guys alone get you 2/3 of the way there for activating X Factor. But it's a player-based synergy, and so it really kind of just comes down to other players that are going to have X Factor as well. It does things besides just speed, but for Kyle, if you got X and XP, the speed with X goes from 92 to 94, and with SP from 94 to 97. Still, in my opinion, not good enough because the shots are not good enough, and that's what you need from a winger. And you can't move him over to a center the way you can with some wingers because his faceoffs are terrible. Line A also terrible at faceoffs. He always has been. He's pretty close to max speed anyways, and his shot's good. So, as I suspected, this was going to be a good card. He's 6'5", 206, and a right-handed shot. So depending upon how the variety of above 88, 89 OVs are looking now, this would potentially be up there as one of those good considerations. Unfortunately, like all of them, comes with low endurance. Just kind of reiterating what I said from day one, that for the boys was probably going to be one of the important team-based synergies to look at when trying to go endgame, because I forget if it's +3 or +4, but it's one or the other. And even if it's just +3, on this particular card, that moves endurance from 91 to 94, and that's huge. It also comes with boosts to things like face-offs for your centers and stuff, and balance. So again, a +3 on him with his balance being at 94 already would bump that up to 97. You're pretty much talking about, maxed out at that point. It's interesting to notice that this is the second lowest. There's only one so far, 90 overall. And that one does in fact have a 99 offensive awareness stat. But Duchesne's 94, Line A is 95, Malkin at 88 is 95, Connor's 94, then just drops from there. Duncan Keith 92, Getzlaf 92, Corey Perry 88. Like, I get being thrashed and being pissed at this and having this as an untradeable. Like, this is just a terrible, terrible card. And then you got to pair him with. Oh, he's right next to him. You got to pair him with Getzlaf if you wanted that, but it's net front presence. You can have other people that have it, but they're at least giving you +2 if you get those guys. The Getzlaf card is terrible. Also, there's no reason to have this. I already pointed out Duncan Keith is terrible to have. I'm diehard Hawks fan, but it's whatever. Speed's great, shots terrible, and that's it. It's all that matters. His defense is okay, not great. Not anywhere remotely close to the top three left-handed defensemen. Even if you take away Niedermeyer and other ones that I've gotten rid of recently, that are like impossible to get in the marketplace, he's still not going to get up there. It is nice. The synergies are both basically nice in my opinion, and it's definitely helpful to get two to blue line, since you only need 3 for that, and you combine Keith with how shitty is the Seabrook. How fucking far down is he as well? He's 84. Isn't that less than what his actual card is right now? But yeah, they both go 2 to FB and 2 to the blue line, so those 2 alone would activate blue line, and then anybody else that you would add with blue line, like the 91 MS Cider from the last event, the Young Stars, is 1 point for blue line. Doesn't matter what his point is, but the fact is he'd get the boost from that, and that is impacting slap shot power and a couple of other things. But this Seabrook is just god awful, and I don't see how you could have this on the same team as the Moritz Seider, assuming that you play right-handed on one side and left on the other. This is just an atrocious card, and it's at least it's realistic though, because he is fucking terrible in real life. Um, and does it does, you want to check something here real quick? It does say that he's 5 million, right? Well, 6.8. I'm not really sure what that's about, but he's making 5 million a year currently. So I'm not sure what that salary thing is. Maybe there's some aspects to it that I'm unaware of. So anybody good after why is Arvidsson so slow? The whole point of Arvidsson last year, along with Duclair and others, were how fast they were compared to base cards. Shots terrible. He's a winger. Not worth it. I don't get this at all. I guess at least it's not 85s across the board. Aggression is a little bit lower. So there's that. And he can't check still. So this is basically it's not really a -6 from his 91. It's way less than 6 from his 91, but it's basically exactly -5 from his 90. That I feel like a lot of people, if they had the 90, they converted it to the 91 when they allowed you to do that in the sunsets. I don't get this. I mean, for five event collectibles, okay, maybe. But then you can't play with any other Gretzky. Top Gamers LV, you got Line, which I'm assuming you meant is Line A. Yeah, I feel like Line A is basically the only good card in this event. I mean, I'm sure the Gonchar is pretty good too, but nobody's gonna fucking pull that. Seems like a lot of people are pulling this card. Nice to have 2 to SP. And who does he match with? Nielsen. Wait, winger, shitty shot, so fuck it, he's terrible. And Lindquist, winger, not as bad of shot, honestly, but no endurance, so fuck it. Yeah, those 2 are terrible also. And Curry's the same thing as Gretzky. You should just not just go for the actual card, just use the collectible from the events to choose one or the other, I guess, is how that works. It'd be nice if they gave you both of them. Maybe they do, I don't even really know. But they're both terrible and much worse than other versions of their cards that are out there already. Already talked about Seabrook, and that's it. So yeah, all the cards are terrible, every single one. I didn't really look at Duchesne. Gonchar, is good, but like his endurance is 90. I mean, how the fuck do you have 90 endurance on a 90 overall card? Plus he's a left defenseman. This is not good enough to make top 3 in my opinion. He does have 99 offensive awareness, but you compare that to Niedermeyer, who people gave me, what did they give me, like 500K for him today? He's got 98 offensive awareness and 98 defensive awareness. Just a much better card. overall, and plus comes with 99 acceleration to boot. So just a much better card. His balance is terrible, 6'2", 210. I'm not really sure why you'd want such low balance. Doesn't have strength to go with it either. I think this is a terrible card. Who is his pair? A Penguins alumni. Uh, okay, so his pair is Malkin. Interesting. Malkin, Gino's already got 88s, so this is exactly the same. It might be a slight boost in offensive awareness. I'd have to go into Penguins and find out. So, yeah, I don't think that it's worth getting that card. And then Duchesne is already getting up there close to 89 also. I like the 2 to TK. I don't care for the 2 to Breakout Master. He does have max skate on his acceleration, agility, and speed. Endurance is a bit lacking. Balance is even worse. Shot is terrible. What do you guys? I'm done. I quit. Like, this is fucking stupid. I don't know why they're even doing this. I want to make sure that this gets saved. So I'm gonna actually literally kill the broadcast as opposed to just quitting out of the game. I think I'm done. I think I quit the game. So peace out forever.